Most students just memorize that 180 degrees equals pi. But where does pi come from? And why does it appear in angle measure at all? Let's find out. Suppose we have a circle with the center O, and we have two radii coming from the center of the circle. These two radii open up an angle. Let's call it alpha. The length of this radii equals the length of the radius of the circle, which we call r. But these two radii also subtend an arc on the circle. And let's suppose that the length of this arc also equals r. So basically this is r, the radius, this is r, which is radius, and the length of this arc also equals r. In this case, our angle alpha will have a special name. It is called 1 radian. Basically, 1 radian means that the arc length equals the radius of the circle. That's it. It measures an angle using an arc length. Now let's open up another angle in the same circle. Let's call this angle theta. This is still r because radius doesn't change. But the arc length does not longer equal r. As you can see, it is larger. Let's call it s. We already know that for 1 radian, the arc length equals r. Then for theta radian is for our second angle. The arc length equals s. Basically, as the angle gets larger, the arc gets larger in the same proportion. So we can write r divided by 1 radian for our first angle equals s divided by theta for our second angle. Now we can cross multiply and we get r theta equals s multiplied by 1, or s equals r theta. And this is the famous formula for the arc length, which comes directly from the definition of 1 radian. Also remember that this formula only works when theta is measured in radians. It does not work for degrees. Now, instead of opening a small angle on the circle, let's make a whole revolution, like this. And we will call this angle theta again. In this case, the arc becomes the entire circumference of the circle. So this entire circumference is now our arc. And we know that the circumference of the circle equals, at least I hope we know, 2 pi r. But for the same arc, we also have this formula, which we just derived. So we can write that s equals r theta. And now we can just set them equal. And we will get 2 pi r equals r theta. Because we have a circle with non-zero radius, we can divide both sides by r. And they will cancel. And we are left with 2 pi equals theta. But remember that theta is the full revolution of that circle, so 360 degrees. In other words, we can say that one full revolution equals 2 pi radians, or 360 degrees. And half of a revolution is half of the both. So we divide both sides by 2, and we will get pi equals 180 degrees. Now you can see that the number pi is not coming from the angle. It is coming from the circle, from its circumference formula.